guests. This afternoon, Chloe is here with us, along with Dawn McDonald. Chloe is, her title with the First Dryden Scouts is Group Commissioner, and Dawn's position with Scouts Canada is the Council Relations Manager of Northern Ontario and Manitoba Councils. Chloe, she was raised in Dryden, and after studying nursing and living in both East and Western Canada, settled in Dryden for its unique accessibility to nature. Helping youth access and enjoy the outdoors was her motivation for rebooting the Dryden Scouts group. Chloe is also the daughter-in-law of Lucille Ayres, being inducted today. Don, he's been scouting since his teens. He joined his twin brother, who also remains an active member of Scouts Canada. Don ensures group success for all of Northern Ontario Council and Manitoba, or I guess it says success for all of Northern Ontario Council Manitoba, but I think probably that also includes Northwestern Ontario. So Dawn and Chloe, we look forward to your presentation. Please join us. Dawn,
First off, like Rena said, Scouts wasn't in Dryden for about 7 years, and when my children came of age, I was, looking for things for them to do, and really liked the idea of Scouts. I always liked the idea of Scouts. I don't really know what I thought it was, but I've since learned it's a lot more than just camping and selling apples and popcorn. So we, after a lot of work in the spring and summer and lots of help from Dawn, we had our first meeting on September 20th. We started out at New Prospect School, and now the First United Church has welcomed us. We occasionally still use New Prospect because we really enjoy the trails back there, but the church has been really kind to us so that we have separate spaces for our beavers and cubs, as well as some storage. So we have a co-ed group. Scouts Canada is completely co-ed since 1998. Right? Dryden also has an active Girl Guides and Brownies as well. But we have 13 beavers, that they're 5 to 7, and there's about 3 girls in there, and 11 cubs. There are 2 girls in there. We have 7 leaders and a treasurer. So the adventures so far that we've done, we've gone on hikes in Lower Howe Marsh. We've had night hikes behind New Prospect School. The kids really, really enjoyed that. All kids love flashlights, you probably know. So that they were pretty jazzed about that. The cubs have been learning about Morse code, about tarp shelter building. We've done lots of knot practice. We have started giving back to the community by doing some caroling at Princess Court. Another part of our hike, they've been doing compass work. We had one of our beaver scouters is an OPP, and he's involved with search and rescue, so he has a lot of really good skills there, so he's been helping us with the compass work. To come, we're looking forward to our first sleepover, so it's baby steps with getting ready for camping, especially being winter. Some of our youth haven't been camping before at all, so that's, like Rena said, one of the reasons that I was interested in. So we're going to do a camp out in the church basement to start out with tents and everything. So like the baby steps of learning how to set up a tent and your sleeping area and all the etiquette related to that. We're going to be doing some ice fishing and working on first aid, hopefully some tree planting, and then one that you may remember, I feel like Peter knows about cub cars maybe. Cub cars and beaver buggies. Kenora is going to welcome us for that. So we've also been connecting with other communities. We've been welcomed to Camp Mitchell in Sioux Lookout to potentially use their space, and we haven't purchased our own tracks yet, so we're learning about everything that entails, but first we're going to go to Kenora and join them for their big rally, and that's usually a pretty public event. They invite everyone to kind of see what the Scouts do. We're going to have a winter skills camp day and a spring family camp at Erin Park. Erin Park's been really welcoming to us, so we're excited for that. Fall to about now has been about kind of getting our feet under us. There's lots of work to do, and all of our youth are new, so hopefully we'll never have a completely new group. We'll be, having new members join as we kind of go along. So the youth have all been learning the program up until now. So it's been really great, and we had our first investment ceremony, and all the kids were really excited to get their badges and their neckerchiefs, and it was a really special one as all the leaders were new to our group as well. So as you may know, I think you might have that in front of you, that we were hoping to do some fundraising because taking kids camping, you of course need tents and cook stoves and all of that stuff. So when the Scouts group closed a few years ago, I think they donated a lot of their gear, or else they some of the tents, got mildew and stuff in storage. So we are needing to replace a lot of that stuff. So we have applied to your foundation for help with those costs. We've also been doing some of our own national fundraisers, the Scouts popcorn. We are hopefully going to do Apple Day next year and Scouts trees. We have been fortunate also to receive some funding from the Nuclear Waste Management Organization, so they were really generous to us. And this year, going forward, so we're going to hopefully embark on some more youth-led community service projects to really empower the youth and strengthen their connection to Dryden. So that's a really important part. Just like Rotary, personal growth and citizenship and community service is a really important thing to us. And we don't know what we're going to do yet, because a really important part of Scouts is that it's youth-led. So the youth it's their program, and they plan their adventures as well as what they want to do. So we'll be doing some brainstorming. So stay tuned on what they're going to plan. It's always exciting to hear their ideas, and they have lots of ideas, and it's our job to facilitate that for them. So, Dawn, we're going to start also with our part. We have a PowerPoint presentation as well. So we, we're fundraising for everything we need to go on adventures with the youth, but that is more of our short-term need for delivering our program. But another thing that we really need to do is make more connections in the community, and that's part of being here with you. We want to be more visible in the community and more connected to other organizations. We have really similar goals to Rotary with citizenship and personal growth and development and community service, and we think that Rotary and Scouts could have a really good partnership together. A community partner is a champion in the community, someone that has your back in the community and talks about you when you talk about things that you're doing with youth in the community to empower them as far as citizenship and community service and leadership. You would be discussing the things that we're doing, and we would hopefully come to you and give you updates on the things that we're doing in Dryden and area. So we recognize that there's a need for Scouts in Dryden because a lot of youth today are not as involved with activities as they used to be. There's a general decline in sports for a lot of reasons. Scouts Canada has done a lot of research about this and found that youth are more sedentary and less connected to family in the community, and deal with more stress, school-related stress, and other stressors, just busy life, overscheduled and overstructured, and a lot of parents are finding that their children aren't staying in activities as long as they used to. And although there's lots of opportunity for sports, youth are leaving sports sooner than they used to. Sports are more competitive, and parents are struggling with all the challenges that brings. We are lucky with Scouts as, go back a little bit. Some of the challenges that Scouts faces is that it is easier to attract kids to keep them involved. They found that there's a lot of interest in Scouts, but sometimes they don't stay with the program all through, and that's in other activities as well. They seem to be, even just with hockey and as an example, a lot of children play, but they seem to be leaving earlier. There's a lot of reasons for that, and theories on that is that it's more competitive than it used to be and a little more stressful, and that there are injuries happening, so they seem to be leaving earlier. And being a volunteer isn't as easy as it used to be. You probably all know we're very busy, and so volunteer recruitment is also a challenge within Scouts and I think most volunteer organizations. Some tailwinds for us: a population is expected to grow, attitudes towards sports are changing. I've already kind of discussed that. Community service is more important than ever before, and families are looking for ways to get their youth involved in that. Safety is also a huge aspect that families want to make sure that their youth are safe. So safety is one of Scouts' most important things that we try to make sure that everyone's safe in their adventures, having fun adventures in a safe way. Scouts Canada really does the heavy lifting for us. They have a wonderful program. It's really easy to become a volunteer. So when I became a volunteer, I received a lot of really thorough training, and it's easy to do that. You are part of a national and global community, so it's really great to make those connections. And part of the program is, well, one of the main aspects of the program is teaching the Scouts to be self-sufficient, so that it's also within the group. So let's go on. So we won't go into this too much, but just a little about the program. We've already talked about youth-led, so the program is the youth's program, so they do plan their own adventures, and it's their program. So we are there to help them and facilitate them, but they have their own ideas on what they'd like to do, and we're just there to help them achieve those. Sometimes, especially with the beaver age, they need some examples. They're 5 to 7, and sometimes they're even 4. So we do have ideas for them, and we involve them in all the aspects of planning as much as we can. There are our outdoor skills, so there's first aid and camping and winter skills and Scouts craft, and it's a progressive, so they're always able to work on their skills and move forward, and that does include badges for them, so they are able to see their skills progress as they go through the program. And personal development is integral in everything that we do. Yeah, the last slide is just about the partnership being formed between Scouts Canada and Rotary. So the idea is that Rotary takes an active interest in our group. So just the simple fact that you are aware of what we're doing, you might talk about us, and that will help to increase our visibility in the community and people knowing what we're doing and that we're out there. Even though we've been going for 6 months now, still lots of people don't know that we are, so that always helps. And that helps recruit youth and volunteers, just people knowing that we're out there. It can help us find facilities and resources. So, well, I was just recently at the group commissioner training in Ottawa, and I feel really lucky, like I was saying, that we live in a community that's the proximity to nature is so easy. Like a lot of them have to drive 3 hours to go camping, and we're really lucky that we don't. So we feel really fortunate that we can get the kids out really easily. But even so, a lot of kids still haven't been camping, even though, we live in the woods. So one thing that I started to get a little jealous of, though, was, for example, like in Hamilton, they'll do sleepovers at like the Warplane Museum and all those kind of things that we can't access as easily. But there are so many things that we can do here, and through networking, you really get ideas. Like, so just in talking up to you and discussing with other people, someone might say, hey, like they could come here and do this, and it just really helps to give us ideas on what's possible. We have to be a little more creative here in some ways. And help us to reinforce safety and youth protection. So you all have families and connections to youth, and you're invested in keeping the youth safe. That's one of the most important things to us. So when we would be giving you our updates on what we're doing, we'd also be including like what we're doing to keep keep the youth safe as possible when we're doing our adventures. Scouts provides all the programming and resources, so that work is done for us in conjunction with the youth and their ideas. Scouts has liability insurance for everything that we do. We screen and appoint and orientate all our volunteers, train them, and with Dawn's help, we have really great coaching. And with we have another coach in Kenora who helps me with a lot of things. And we provide feedback and recognition for our volunteers and leaders. So that is the end of our PowerPoint presentation. I was asking Don, because he's been in scouting a lot longer than I have, what would be like some specific examples of what Rotary would do? Like, what are some concrete examples of what you would do for us as a partner? And even if you were having an event and you needed help, we would be more than happy to help with that. And it increases our visibility, and it's a great opportunity for the youth to give back. You have a lot of already well-established ways that you give back to the community, and volunteers are always needed, and it's great to see the youth getting involved in those kind of community initiatives, and it also creates visibility for you and having youth involved in your organization.
Thank you very much, Chloe and Dawn,
Thank you.
and as you went through your spiel, there were so many parallels between our objectives as Rotary and scouting programs objectives for future leaders in the youth, and I think I speak on behalf of everyone that we'd be more than happy to support you and everything you do. Good luck.